Namaskar and welcome to Changemakers. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Are you gasping for breath as smog covers our cities and towns? Air quality index levels are skyrocketing and air pollution is choking our lives. It has profound impact on individual and community health, but there is hope. Today, let's talk about combating air pollution. Did you know, according to UN reports, air pollution kills an estimated 7 million people every year? It is the biggest environmental health risk of our times. Airborne pollutants are responsible for about 1/3 of deaths from stroke, chronic respiratory and heart diseases. Air pollution is also fundamentally altering our climate with profound impact on the health of our planet. Our changemakers are playing a key role in mitigating this challenge. They are decoding the sources of pollution with data. They are enhancing capacities of plants to clean our environment. Here's how. Air pollution has emerged as one of the biggest environmental health risks of our times. Our changemakers are playing an important role in tackling the challenge with innovative solutions. Our first changemaker is Ambi from Bengaluru. Founded in 2017 by Jaideep Singh, Akshay Joshi and Madhusudan Anand, Ambi offers actionable climate and environmental intelligence. They enable data-driven, sustainable actions against global challenges like air pollution. Ambi has built one of the world's most accurate air quality prediction product. The state-of-the-art air quality interface supports a variety of applications, from helping patients understand how the air they breathe is impacting their health to allowing city dwellers to get from point A to B with the safest and most pollution-free routes. Ambi's air quality interface provides access to real-time air quality data with information on parameters such as PM2.5, PM10, AQI, and more. Users can get direct access to air quality information via Ambi's air quality maps. This is an intuitive and visually informative way to explore air quality information across different locations, helping understand environmental conditions and improve public health. Ambi's air quality app provides real-time alerts, detailed insights, and recommendations on the ambient air when air quality reaches a certain level. The hardware sensors devices can help track air quality levels directly in indoor spaces. Ambi has bagged many prestigious awards and recognitions, including UN SDG Award, India 2019, and India's Most Innovative Companies, among others. Our next changemaker is You Breathe from Gurugram. Founded in 2018 by Sanjay Maurya, Akhil Gupta, Akshay Goel and Inderjeet Rao, You Breathe is a biotech startup that develops plant-based air purifiers. You Breathe provides sustainable and green solutions for cleaner and fresher air while tackling a diverse spectrum of air pollutants. You Breathe's approach to air purification sets it apart from conventional systems as it utilizes only biofiltration techniques. This not only results in no recurring need for filter replacements, but also provides a sustainable solution with zero carbon footprint. You Breathe uses breathing roots technology to boost the plant's natural process of removing pollutants from air with improved soil breathability. The innovation offers more than 500 times more purification capability than normal plants. The process of phytoremediation is boosted by increasing the volume of air that the plant microbiome gets to interact. You Breathe purifies the air from all contaminants like suspended particulate matter and other toxic gases categorized as TVOCs. Its proprietary design boosts a plant's natural process of removing pollutants from the air. You Breathe products can be used in all kinds of spaces, including homes, offices, schools, and large establishments. UBreathe has received UNDP Accelerator Labs Award for innovative solutions to tackle air pollution. What amazing innovations! Let's now meet our changemakers, learn more about their work and vision. Let me welcome Madhusudan Anand, co-founder Ambi, and Sanjay Maurya, co-founder UBreathe. We learned about your unique innovations to tackle air pollution. Welcome to Changemakers.
Thank you, Shubhendu. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much, Shubhendu. Lovely to be here.
First up, I'd like to learn from both of you. How do you assess the challenge posed by air pollution around us, and to what extent are our innovations able to keep up with this challenge?
So, air pollution is one of the most pressing environmental and public challenges of our time. It is, you can call it an invisible enemy that affects the health of not just few hundreds, but few billions, and the vitality of ecosystems, the economy of nations, and so on. At Ambi, we believe that the fight against air pollution begins with reliable data. If you can't measure it, you cannot solve it. So our innovations are designed to provide real-time, actionable insights into air quality. We leverage all the latest, greatest technology. We have proprietary data from proprietary sensors, advanced algorithms. We're not just keeping up with the challenge, but we're also working a lot harder to stay ahead of it. One example is our partnership with NASA's space satellite, or even things like enabling organizations to make informed decisions or people for their well-being of their communities and environment.
Absolutely. So, Shubhendu, the air pollution problem is not a new problem. It's just that it is catching media's attention, a lot of political attention right now. But air pollution problem has been there, not just in India, but outside of India, globally as well, for a very long time. In India, the urbanization has been happening for last 3-4 decades. Cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and such have seen a huge uptick in the population growth, commercial buildings being set up extremely fast. So all these things put combined, the pollution problem has also seen a direct relation, when you talk about the urbanization as well. So much so that in India, the Central Pollution Control Board, CPCB, which is established in New Delhi, was actually established long back in 80s. So that way we have been knowing about the air pollution problems for a very long time. It's just that the recent past, the problem has grown to so much that the New Delhi and more cities nearby now record an air quality dip, which is close to more than 100 times than the recommended air quality levels by WHO. And now it has become a great menace to everyone. So, right, so air pollution problem is a big problem for most of the cities in India, which are in the growth state. And it's not just an Indian problem, but rather it's a global issue. When we talk about the innovation, definitely for countries like India, which is growing rapidly, we are a developing nation. So there are a lot of things which are happening in that direction. And the after effect of those things are primarily resolved afterwards. So once we have these problems at hand, now we are trying to find solutions for such. So there is a great effort being put in by public and private sector in terms of finding technologies, remedies for the air pollution problem. A lot of things are being done, and I feel strongly that there is a stronger push that is needed in this space to have things under control in the near future. Yeah.
Those are important insights. Let's now talk about your individual enterprises. Let's first talk about Ambi. Madhusudan, I'll come to you. Understanding a problem is said to be the first step towards solving it. Now, you decode air pollution with data. Simplify for us, how does it work and how did the idea come about?
The idea was born out of I'll start with the last question. The idea was born out of a personal need when my own son was facing some respiratory issues because of poor air quality. At that time, nobody said it was air quality. One thing led to the other, and then I found out it was air that was making my infant fall sick. Realizing that there was lack of accessible information on air quality, I sort of set out to create a solution and formed a team. And then we started working to empower individuals, governments, municipalities, businesses to understand and combat pollution effectively. So it started with putting out sensors across the network. Then we had help from large enterprises, satellite providers, data providers. So we now merge anthropogenic data, which is all your human activities, traffic, garbage burning, landfills, construction, and then we overlay that with our sensor data network of sensors across India, and then we overlay that on top of satellite observations. And then there are meteorological inputs like the wind speed, direction, pressure, changes in temperature, precipitation. All of this helps us understand the pollution, and we created an emission inventory of sorts. So that's how now we're putting this whole thing together. So what started with my son is it turned into a mission, and now we're across the world supplying hyperlocal air quality data.
Right. Madhusudan, taking forward the point that you mentioned, now, commonly we are aware of the AQI levels in our cities, the air quality index. What is the significance of hyperlocal data, and how does that data help us take intelligent decisions to curb pollution?
Yeah, hyperlocal data is extremely important because air quality can change dramatically, within the same city. It can be different at the beginning of the day, it can be different at the end of the day. It could be, different at one side of the road to the other. So by providing this granular level of detail, we enable users to detect pollution hotspots and understand how air quality at a neighborhood level is behaving, what are the emission sources, where it's coming from, what time does it peak. Just as an individual, this is extremely useful, but even for urban planners, health professionals, individuals to make climate intelligent decisions, like planning urban infrastructure, for example, advising patients with respiratory conditions, or choosing the cleanest route for outdoor activities, or avoiding doing certain things during peak pollution timings. These things start with hyperlocal work. And nowadays, we are also looking at clinical trials to develop better anti-allergy and respiratory drugs and create evidence based trials for pharmaceuticals to better battle this problem. And so on. There's a lot of use cases, even working with municipalities, governments, and so on.
That's great to learn. Now, just as you decode air pollution, I learned that you can also map carbon emissions and other similar variables that could play an important role in climate change initiatives.
Yes, indeed, very much. All of this pollution, a majority of it is coming from energy consumption. So energy consumption creates emissions, and emissions create pollution. Hence, mapping carbon emission is a vital part of our work. This helps us identify significant sources of greenhouse gases and helps us create a one-of-a-kind emission inventory and target actions to reduce emissions. In addition to carbon, we monitor a spectrum of pollutants and meteorological variables. We also are one of the first ones to provide pollen data to start with, as well as the hyperlocal weather and a whole lot of other parameters, all of which inform strategies to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts. And AMBI as a platform provides a comprehensive solution for anyone looking to address the multifaceted challenges of climate change, be it enterprises, governments, municipalities, individuals who want to be living a sustainable world, sustainable life. There are plenty of options coming out of carbon emission mapping.
Okay, and how has been your experience taking this made in India innovation to different parts of the country and the world?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. The journey has been challenging, rewarding. Domestically, our innovation has been met with great interest and enthusiasm. India, as you know, faces a great challenge in terms of air quality. We are in the top 10 most polluted cities in the world. Internationally, we've had to navigate diverse regulatory environments and market needs, but the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Even in India, we have been the creators of one of the first air quality based, pollution based insurance for health. We've been one of the first ones to create digital therapeutics for respiratory related ailments. And there's a lot more in the pipeline. Across the world, majority of our business where it comes from, uh, there is significant interest from what we're able to do to track and tag every pollution to inventory. So our experience has shown that it doesn't matter regardless of geography. There is universal demand for reliable, actionable data, and I'm happy that we recognize the few of those who can provide that.
Madhusudan, it's great to learn about the work done by Ambi. Let's now talk about You Breathe, Sanjay. Let me come to you. It's really fascinating the manner in which you fuse nature and science in your plant-based air purifiers. How did the idea come about? Tell us about the process through which this filtration happens.
Absolutely. So, Shubhendu, we draw a similar parallel of air purification domain to water purification domain. So you might remember that in early 90s, there was a great shift towards having air water purifiers in the home. There were a few companies who were trying out different technologies in that space. So we initially had those earthen pot related filters. We then had aqua guard filters, and then over a period of time, we established that UV plus RO is the best technology out there for household and commercial purposes. So similar kind of trajectory we are witnessing in the air purification domain as well, wherein currently we are in the early stages. A lot of different technologies are being tried out. There is nature-based technologies like ours. Then there are certain chemical products and such which can also help in the air pollution mitigation. And then there are some mechanical filtration also that happens. Ours is a primarily nature-based technology focused work wherein we are identifying technologies which have been inspired by the natural phenomena that occurs in the nature. So one of our core technology, we call it breathing roots technology, essentially improves the breathability of natural plant so that there is a greater air purification happening from a simple normal plant as well. So for example, one of our product can magnify the cleaning capability of a normal indoor plant by almost 500 times. So that means if you had one single plant sitting on our technology would have a similar impact if you had 500 normal plants put together in a small room. So that's the kind of magnification we are talking about. It's a very novel technology. It's backed by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India as well. And we have completed first R&D cycle for our technology, and now we are looking to get the technology out there in the market for everyone's consumption and consumption for the common man as well.
Interesting, Sanjay, but we also know that there are n number of air purifiers and filters available in the market. What makes your innovation more sustainable?
Absolutely. So, Shubhendu, I'll just spend 1 minute on how conventional air purifier typically work. So, a conventional purifier has a filter, which is typically your HEPA filter and a few other type of filter. And then you have a fan behind it. When you put the whole thing together and connect it to power, the fan will make the surrounding air to pass through the filter, and filter will capture the dust and some particulate matter. After a period of time, this filter will get clogged and you will have to throw those filters away. These HEPA filters are not exactly environmental friendly. It takes about 30 to 40 years for them to degrade naturally. So while trying to solve one problem, essentially we are creating another set of problem for future. And to me, that didn't feel right. I wanted to find more sustainable ways to clean the air so that there is lesser carbon footprint, and there is no side products as such created by the whole process. So nature-based technologies with our product, the kind of pollutants we are able to absorb in the plants, it actually becomes the food for the plant. So most of the toxic gases that these plants actually absorb from the environment are essentially converted into nitrate and phosphate, which in turn becomes the food for these plants. So more and more pollution as they try to absorb, the plant growth actually, it is extremely helpful for the plant's growth as well. So there is no side byproduct per se, and it's a very cyclic process in nature wherein the plants are consuming and treating the air pollutants from the air, and it is in turn helping both the plants and for us as well because there are less toxic pollutants in the air. So it's a very cyclic process in that way, and there is no byproduct which is being created which is harmful to us.
I understand that you provide air purification solutions, what is called air audits, to diverse spaces from industries to offices to homes. How do you tailor make solutions for each of these clients?
Absolutely. So Shubhendu, air pollution is, being discussed currently, being discussed in most of the cities in India. But what we generally operate in this space, we call it indoor air purification space. And indoor air pollution can be extremely different from the outside air pollution problems that we have today. In India, most of the cities actually are facing dust particle and particulate problems. But in indoor setups, there can be a lot of other problems as well. You can have gaseous contaminants. You can also have biological contaminants such as airborne viruses and bacteria as well. So indoor purification is a very different domain, we believe. And for any of our client, for any of our users at a commercial scale, what we typically do, we don't just provide products without understanding the key problems for them. So this way, the air quality audits helps in a great manner for us to identify the key problems. So for example, let me give you an example of a typical office. The office space might have a reception area or an open space. It can also have washrooms and pantry. So all these specific smaller areas can propose extremely different challenges. So for pantry space, let's say there is a lot of cooking, there is a lot of fumes that gets generated. So in those spaces, you might have greater problem of gaseous contaminants. In the areas which are nearby to the roadside or maybe more exposed to the outside air, you might have the dust particle pollution. So yeah, so air quality audits definitely help to identify the key problems, and it can differ for everyone. For a fitness center, the key problem might be related to humidity and lower oxygen levels. For an office, it might be the case of gaseous contaminant. For a household in India, typically we might have a problem of particulate problem only. So yeah, so the air quality audits really help in understanding the key problem areas before we recommend any of our products for our clients and users.
Sanjay, it's great to learn about innovations at You Breathe. Now, finally, I'd like to learn from both of you the road ahead, given that the problem of air pollution is so widespread and immediate. How do you see the opportunities and challenges ahead for entrepreneurs in this domain?
I think we're in a beautiful time in the country. We are growing. There is so much opportunity and flexibility for innovation, experiments. And this particular domain, the climate space itself, is brimming with opportunities. There is increased focus on sustainability, climate intelligence, and there's definitely a lot of challenges. And if you look at any angle you take it, food security, agriculture, economics, a lot of it depends on climate. Every business today needs climate intelligence, and there's also a need for interdisciplinary expertise, scaling solutions across rural areas in India, across different varied regions, securing investments. Even investors today are open to dialogue around these things, which wasn't existent 5 years ago when I started this. So for those willing to take on these challenges, the potential to make a significant impact is immense, and it's the right time.
Right. This is a growing space from a business point of view, Shubhendu. And broadly, you can categorize the entire space in two different domains. So one is curative and another one is preventive. So curative space typically talks about having technologies which can cut down the pollution sources itself. So typically your electric vehicle or maybe some solutions which can cut down the pollution coming out of the factories and such. So those are the curative technologies that I am talking about. Another one is the preventive one, wherein startup like ours are helping while there is a lot of effort being put in by government and other stakeholders, there will be a period of time of 20, 30, 40 years wherein the generation, the population will have to go through the pollution problem. So preventive technology like ours can definitely help have certain safeguard, solutions for the public at large. So for anyone who wants to come into this space, this is a brilliant, point in time wherein the startups can come into this space, build their own expertise, help the entire space to grow in a certain direction. In the coming time, a lot of population is going to shift from rural population to urban problems. So this problem is going to stay for a long time, and we need everyone's support and a lot of different players and minds working together to find that ultimate technology which can propose the most sustainable solution for future cities and future generations. So it's an extremely right point in time for anyone to get into this space and just build their expertise and try to find different ways to have the pollution in check.
On that note, thank you very much, Madhusudan, Sanjay, for joining us on Changemakers, sharing your stories. Our best wishes to your teams.
Thank you, Shubhendu. It was a pleasure being here. You all have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shubhendu. Thank you so much.
It was great meeting our Changemakers. Their innovations have great potential to help us tackle the challenge of air pollution. Similar sustainable innovations are a ray of hope for our collective future. Let's hope more smart solutions are imagined and enacted. We will be looking out for those change makers. Till we meet again, namaskar.